Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Kennedy Center, Aspen Institute. I'm Maz Jobrani. I'm a comedian. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I have no idea what I'm doing here. This is very serious topics, and then me. No, because I live in Los Angeles, and whenever I come to DC, I feel like you guys are doing things. Yeah, I mean, in LA, you run into people that are auditioning to play people that are doing things. But here you're actually doing things. It's amazing. So thank you very much. A few of these sessions I've watched, I felt very dumb. No, I think I'm going to go back to school because I some of the Alan Kay stuff and Sarah Lewis, I was like, well, I got to study. I didn't. It was beautiful, and this is amazing. And I'm also Iranian American, and I guess I'm opening the race section of the afternoon. Thank you. Yes, the race section, which means if you don't laugh, you're racist. Just put it out there. Check yourselves. So I just want to find out by applause, where are the non-white people here? Non-white by applause. Thank you, Alfred Woodard. Thank you very. Yes. And now where's the white people by applause? White people. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for being interested in race. No, I want to thank the Aspen Institute and Kennedy Center for recognizing that race is not just black and white. There's a lot of browns. Yes, the brown lady. Thank you for clapping. No, because I've heard people nowadays. I've heard some people say that Muslim is the new black, and then I've heard people say orange is a new black. But having seen what's been going on in the U.S. the past year or so, I would say black is still the new black. It's just that we're just joining. A lot of Muslims and brown people are joining. We're just being shot at by rednecks, not by cops yet. Yeah. Oh, whatever. Okay. Now it's getting racy. Hello. Hi. How are you? I'm a comedian. I got to acknowledge. Welcome back. He asked. He had an opinion during lunch. It was good. Yeah. You're the union man, right, sir? Yes. Good opinion. No, but first of all, I wanted to, before I get into race, I just wanted to quickly, there was the question about freedom of speech, coming off of freedom of speech. There was a question about freedom of speech internationally and how we deal with it here versus internationally. And I get this question a lot when the whole Charlie Hebdo thing happened. People said, why are Muslims so upset about the depictions of Muhammad? And first of all, I'm not a scholar in Islam, and I'm not even that religious, really. But I did say in response that in America, we have free speech, but we also have limitations, as we all know. But as a comedian, I experienced it firsthand during the Iraq War. There was leading up to the Iraq War, I had jokes about President Bush. Surprise. I'll be honest with you. Bush was great for comedians. Obama's horrible. Oh my God. I had Bush and Ahmadinejad. That was the president of Iran. It was like, it was gold. I mean, I didn't have to write jokes. I would just report. I'd be like, it was. I'd be like, he choked on a pretzel. Aha! It was crazy. Ahmadinejad. No gays in Iran. Oh my God! It was great. And now nothing. Anyway, thank you, President Obama. But no, I was doing jokes about about Bush leading up to the war, and people would laugh. And then on the eve of the war, people stopped laughing at the same jokes. And I realized that there was a line the administration had sold, which was, if you criticize the war, you're criticizing the troops. And I had to remind people that wasn't the case. I wasn't on stage going like, you know what? I love the administration. It's those damn troops that piss me off. And it's crazy because I actually, at a show at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, I once had a girl in the front row who was in the military. I was doing a Bush joke. She goes, you can't make fun of our commander-in-chief during a time of war. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I go, that's the whole point of this country. That's the beauty of this country. I came from Iran. I go, that's why I love America. I go, I couldn't make fun of the president of Iran in Iran. I said, if I did that in Iran, you'd be like, hey, that was a good show. When's your next show? I'd be like, there are no more shows. The Ministry of No-Show showed up. The next show will be in prison. So I just want to say we also have a lot of things that we're sensitive to. If you want to piss off Americans, go on Twitter and put something out there about gun control and see the vitriol you get off of that. It's true. I mean, so, I just want to hold the mirror to ourselves a little bit as well. Now, getting back to race, again, like I said, I'm Iranian American, and I think one of the best things that I've seen in the current culture in America is that there's a lot of interracial marriages and mixing of cultures. I did that myself. I married an Indian woman who's here tonight. So I'm Iranian. She's Indian. We have our kids. We have 2 kids. They both look like her. I told her, I said, there's a reason why there's 1 billion Indians in the world. Their genes are so dominant. I'm telling you, anyone who sleeps with an Indian, the kids are coming out Indian. I'm telling you this. I'm Iranian, Indian, black, Indian. Friend of mine, wife's not even Indian. She had Indian food one night. The kids came out Indian. I'm just telling you right now. So like I said, I came to America. I was 6 years old when I came to America. It was at the Revolution, 79 Revolution in Iran, and I came to America. My father was a businessman. He was staying at the Plaza Hotel. I was 6 years old. I come to the Plaza Hotel across the street from FAO Schwartz, the best toy store in the world. And I was like, oh my God, this revolution is working out for me. And it was going great in my mind as a kid until, I didn't know I was different until the hostage crisis happened, which is when I was in the 4th grade at the time. And that's when I think America really started taking note. And I was in the 4th grade. There was a 6th grader back then who started calling me, he would call me an effing Iranian. That's what they would call you back then, an effing. They would actually use the real word, but we're at the Kennedy Center, so I'm sticking with effing Iranian. So he'd be like, dude, you're effing Iranian. And I'd be like, dude, first of all, it's not Iranian, it's Iranian. Secondly, you're bigger than me, so it's whatever you want it to be. And thirdly, I'm Italian. Hey, man. Survival, baby. So, and then things got good for a little bit. They got good for a little bit, and then the movie Not Without My Daughter came out. And I don't know if you guys remember that movie. Sally Field, Alfred Molina. They play a couple. They're married in America. Alfred Molina plays an Iranian in America. In America, the guy's the nicest guy in the world. He's like doing poetry and cooking for her. And he's like, I love you. I want to cook and clean. And then he says, let's go to Iran for a break. And they go to Iran, and the guy changes on a dime. He's just like, he's like, I will kill you and sacrifice you like a sheep. And it's crazy. And it's based on a true story. But the problem was, as an Iranian male back then, like it was like, I'll tell you, it ruined our dating life. Like, no, at that point, all Iranians became Tony. It was crazy. I'm serious, and so that was the second thing that like affected my youth, and then the third one, obviously, the biggest one was after September 11th, and we all know that the problem with a lot of this stuff is that when these things happen, people go nuts, and they were shooting Indian Sikhs that had nothing to do with it, and I personally never experienced racism towards me, but my mother, who's got a thick Persian accent, she had an experience in Los Angeles. She went to a Costco and she moved someone's cart out of her way to get to the product. Lady comes back and goes, who moved my cart? And my mother is an elegant Persian lady. She goes, the cart was in my way. I had to move it to get to the cereal or whatever she was trying to get. And the lady right away goes, why don't you go back to your country? Right away. And this is right after September 11th. And my mom said, this is my country. And then the lady took her cart and started walking away, and she turned to my mom and goes, bitch, to my mom. And my mother is a very proper Persian lady. She doesn't like to cuss. So she said she came back with the best comeback she could think of. She said, she who says it, is it? Yes. She said, yeah. Like a 5-year-old comeback. I was like, you go, Mom, I am rubber, you are glue. So that was that. And then I'll tell you, as an Iranian-American actor, it's funny. I grew up in Northern California, Marin County, and growing up, I got to play all kinds of parts. I was doing plays since I was 12. I got to be Little Abner, who's this hillbilly kid. I got to play Batman in high school. I was like, wow. I was like, I want to go to Hollywood and be an actor and play all kinds of parts. And then when I got there and they find out you're of Middle Eastern descent, they go, oh, you're Middle Eastern, great. Here's a part. Can you say, I will kill you in the name of Allah? And you go, yeah, I could, but can I maybe play the doctor in this? And they go, yeah, then you can hijack the hospital. Like, no, you're not getting it. So then I wrote this book that just came out. It's called I'm Not a Terrorist, but I've Played One on TV. And thank you. And in it, I tell the story how early on in my career, I took a part in a Chuck Norris movie of the week. Thank you. No, it was crazy. It was actually, I had to debate whether I wanted to take this part or not because I didn't feel right, but I had a day job, and I was like, maybe if I take this part, it will lead to me being able to quit my day job and then moving on into a full career of acting. So this was before September 11th. I was going to play an Afghan terrorist who was going to blow up a building in Chicago. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take this part and I'm going to show why this guy's doing what he's doing through my acting, through my thespian ability. I will show why. I'm such an idiot. So I took the part and I went down to the wardrobe fitting and they go, here's your shirt, here's your pants, here's your turban. And I was like, no, whoa. I go, listen, I've done my research. Afghans in America don't wear turbans. I go, Indian Sikhs wear turbans. I go, let's get this right. And the girl was like, dude, this is a Chuck Norris movie? What are you talking about? And I was like, no, you tell the producers I've done my research. We should get it. So she said, I'll talk to the producers. We'll see what happens. So I showed up the next day at my dressing room, and there's my shirt and my pants and a scarf. And I said, oh, see, I told you if you talk to them, they'll see it my way. I will gladly be the scarf-wearing terrorist. And she goes, that's not a scarf. That's the turban. You just got to wrap it back up. So I felt like an idiot, and then I went back to my agents. I said, no more terrorist parts. And then the TV show 24 came calling, and they said, we have a terrorist. I said, no. And they said, but he changes his mind halfway through the mission. I was like, ooh, the ambivalent terrorist. That's interesting. So I did that, yeah, they kept coming at me, man. Just when you think you're out, they keep pulling you back in. That's Al Pacino. Anyway, so then that was the last time I did a terrorist part, and I haven't worked since. No, I'm kidding. No, I didn't do any more after that, and one of the reasons is because you realize there's actual real-world results and effects. You know, you see these shootings that do happen. I think in North Carolina, it was recently these two Muslims got shot by their neighbor. You hear about kids getting picked on and beat up at schools. And the problem is I've traveled all over the world doing stand-up. I've done stand-up in the Middle East. And most of the people I've met in the Middle East are good people. And they're just living their lives. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up because they told me I have a minute left. But I just want to thank you guys again for inviting me to be a part of this. And I thank you guys for listening. And this has been an honor to be a part of this. So I'm Maz Jobrani. Thank you very much. And enjoy the rest. All right.